So, got some weird news. Hey, credit where credit's due. Mitch McConnell has actually proposed something good. Who would have thought? So, The Hill reports McConnell bill would legalize hemp as an agricultural product. This is huge for many reasons. But I'll go on and just explain to you a little bit more about this. So the Hemp Farming Act of 2018 would legalize hemp, removing it from the federal list of controlled substances and allowing it to be sold as an agricultural commodity. So that's great. Like, hemp has over 50,000 uses in commercial products. It can make tons of things, from wick, clothes, rope, industrial building blocks. So like hempcrete, as it's also known, canvas, biofuel, hemp wood, also known as shives, particle boards, ink, mulch, carpets, batteries, makeup, plastic, which is 5 times stronger than normal plastic, butter, nails polish, milk, diapers, animal food, paint, varnish, shampoo, tofu, sneakers, and even this.
Okay. Ow. You want to try? It's not made out of marijuana. It's made out of cannabis hemp. You can smoke all the cannabis hemp you could possibly want. You won't get high.
I should start now.
The ultimate goal, Jay, is to introduce the world's first carbon negative vehicle. And the key to that is going back to what Henry Ford advocated back in 1941, and that's the idea of make everything you possibly can, including your fuels, out of plant material.
That was badass. Henry Ford actually made a car made out of hemp back in the early 1900s as well. There's a video you can go on the internet and watch where he grabs a sledgehammer, pounds it into the front of the car, and it just bounces right back off like he hit rubber. It's amazing how strong hemp fibers are. Now, here's where I get a little confused. He's trying to take it off the Controlled Substance Act. Here's the thing. Everybody's describing hemp as some sort of cousin to weed or relative of weed or, strand or all these different types of misnomers. Cannabis sativa is cannabis sativa. It just is grown and bred differently. So if you want to get a high THC yield, you're going to crossbreed plants that give you a high THC yield. This is why cannabis has gotten so strong over the last 30, 40 years, because we've understood a lot more about the genetics and have put a lot more effort into getting better pot. But hemp only contains about 0.3% THC. So you're not getting high from it, but it's the same plant. It contains actually more CBD, which is the life-saving medicine you can get. And I literally do mean life-saving. There are little kids who have seizures, epileptic seizures, grand mal seizures, up to 200 times a day in this country. Hundreds of them. I live in Colorado, where a lot of these kids had to move with their parents. Well, I guess the parents had to move with their kids out here to be medical marijuana refugees, so their little girl or boy doesn't have to suffer. It's inhumane and it's cruel, but it's the same fucking plant. How can you remove one from the Controlled Substance Act and not the other? Because, hello, it's the same thing. That'd be like saying, well, yeah, whiskey is illegal now, but you can have all the beer you want. Just chill out on the whiskey. Does that make any sense to anybody? Now, Mitch McConnell's going to have to tiptoe up to Mr. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions and like beg him to let this one go, because we all know how crazy Jeff Sessions is. He probably thinks 0.3% THC is enough to kill 100 horses. Because he's fucking idiot and he's anti-science and he doesn't care. And he's bought off by big tobacco. Who would have thought? But we also have the Trump administration pushing to quell the opioid crisis. Well, guess what? Pot can help replace, and I do mean like the good stuff, can help replace a lot of narcotics like opiates. Kratom, another thing they're going after, actually activates the same exact receptors in your brain as fentanyl, heroin, oxycontin, oxycodone, roxycontin, whatever. It affects the same neuroreceptors, but because it's a plant, the government can't make money off of it, or companies can't make money off of it, and the government can't get bribes from companies for making a profit off of it, that they just don't worry about it. They keep it illegal under the 1970s CSA, Controlled Substance Act, because they can. But our country has a rich foundation built on hemp. I mean, fucking George H.W. Bush flew out of a fucking airplane with a hemp parachute. The Declaration of Independence, the document that was supposed to give us our freedom, is written on hemp. I gave you all those uses earlier that hemp is needed. In 1632, Virginia's assembly required all of their farmers to grow hemp once they had the ability to, because it was so vital to their economy and the success of those colonies. George Washington grew it. Ben Franklin opened the first hemp paper factory in the world. Who knew that? I did, now you do. You're welcome. It's just outlandish that hemp can be branded under the same name as drugs like acid and what else is even on like Schedule 1? Because I think cocaine is, but there's medical heroin you can get. There's medical cocaine you can get. I think it's for like tooth or gums or something like that. Just about everything you can buy legally or illegally that's on the Controlled Substance Act has some sort of medical use. Almost every one. Even meth. I mean, I take Adderall. That's literally like the same thing as meth. It's just a cleaner, more synthetic, correctly put together medicine. So it's not made by some hillbilly in Alabama shaking up a Gatorade can with aluminum foil and Robitussin in it or whatever. So, yeah, I just think it's wild. And I think it's crazy that Mitch McConnell gets to walk away with the political points from this one. Because why wasn't this being pushed by everybody earlier? Why wasn't a Democrat pushing this? Why are they pushing for legalization of all cannabis? Because you want to talk about a cash crop. Marijuana or cannabis sativa can make shirts. It can make clothes. It can make cars. It can fucking get you high. It's the best thing ever. It can even make fuel for you to put in your car made out of hemp. I mean, how cool is that? Well, let's do it, man. All for it. Shame on anybody who does not approve this in the Congress or Senate. And if Trump were to veto this, if it got to his desk, I don't think his own party would be very happy with him, and I don't think he would do it anyway. So I think we got this one. If it gets enough steam ahead of it, and if we can get Democrats to rally, and instead of playing party politics and bullshitting around and trying to posture for the midterms, let's get this done. And also, Marco Rubio, I'll give him a shout out too. He had a daylight savings time bill. I think it was called the protecting Sunshine Act or the Sunshine Act or something like that, where we're getting rid of it. Fuck it. Who needs daylight savings times? I don't really run my days based on when the sun rises and falls. I mean, some people do, I guess. Farmers. Wasn't even invented for farmers. And it's like, I don't even remember the stupid ass reason it was made. But, you know, I can give credit where credit's due. I think that's a great idea. It gets too dark in the winter way too early. If you're up north, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're nothing but dark. And I think that's an easy thing to change. And I think hemp is a slam dunk. So